It jumps live automatically now, doesn't it? Hey. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully everything's titled right. I'm your host Keith, and Man of Letters, knowledge, information, and entertainment is our goal here. Thanks for returning. Thanks everyone for being here. I might do 2 lives tonight. I think this one just came to me because I saw something on Instagram. Then we'll do a reading after this if this one doesn't take too long. But thank you guys for being here. Everyone hit that like button for me, please, so we can beat the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys for considering to join the channel if you do. And thank you for all the support and etc. 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 Hello, Amethyst. Christ consciousness. It's audacious. I like it. Agent Smith. Masayuki. What up, everyone? What up? Okay, we'll get right into it. We'll break the title into 2 parts, and then we'll talk about why they're important relating to each other. So, we'll define Elder Millennials for you guys. That is just anyone who is a millennial, which a millennial is someone who came to adulthood in the early 2000s. So there's not an exact number. I'm assuming anyone in the 2010s, whereas the 2000 teens are now Generation X or Y or Z. I don't know. Generation Z, I'm not sure. Elder Millennials are like older cats. All right, here's why it's important. Here's why I'm telling Peter Pan to fuck off. We're going to have to backtrack a little bit. Think of it in a ritualistic sense. Think about it in a ritualistic sense. Our society praises, literally worships youth. And that's take a judgment as far away from you can as possible. Don't think, oh, that's good, oh, that's bad. Don't become too involved in that story. But just know that is a truth, more or less. Peter Pan, for my generation, and a few generations before that, because Peter Pan's old as fuck. We show it to our kids to say, hey, don't grow up. It's a trap. They always say, don't grow up. It's don't grow up. Peter Pan is in charge of Neverland, in charge of the Lost Boys. So Peter Pan represents that archetype of everything. That's why his name is Pan, actually, because Pan is the god of everything. That goes all. That Pangea, Pangea, the solo continent back in the day. It's robotic. How robotic? I'm checking you guys' comments right now. I think I know why. Hold on. How's that? Is that better? That might be better. There's something with your voice. Sounds robotic. I am now an AI. I have come here to collect data on our next move for intelligence. All of your base belong to us. Okay, is the audio better though, you guys? I had my computer and my microphone recording at the same time. I think that's what happened. Okay, cool, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Love you guys. Where'd I leave off? Pan, god of everything. Peter Pan, right? So Peter Pan represents everything. He represents some could call it the feminine. It's the unsolidified, the pure potential. That's why I always use that phrase, pure potential. This is where I got it from. That's what Pan represents. That's what children represent, pure potential. But that's only half the battle. The other half is realizing potential and then sort of solidifying it into a manifestation, because that's all a manifestation is you take the etheric, you take the pure potential, and you realize it, you condense it, you pull it forth through the veil and you condense it into a thought, into a single point in time. A desk, a table, a YouTube video, my dreadlocks, whatever the hell it may be. What our culture has done is what the dark occultists have done through movies, through things like Disney, through the shows we show children, the programs that we program our children with, in other words, we see that the dark occultists sway public opinion. And when you sway the minds of people, you sway the actions of people. Oh. What's that? Oh, nice. You getting Brukowski's? Whiskey? I'm down to throw down on it. What are you getting, Jameson?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool, you put the ice cubes in the freezer?
Yeah.
Nice. Dope. We're going to have some whiskey with the live, you guys. Jameson, if you guys want to join in. 21 and up. 21 and up. Damn it, where was I? Yes. We, all our favorite movie stars, or you know, the teen sensations, the teen idols, the boy bands, it's always youth. And so what happens is, at a certain point, we're trained and programmed to discard the older cats. I mean, at some point, you're old as fuck and you gotta sit down. I get that. But, like, as soon as you hit 30, you're practically useless in society. Especially if you're a woman. I hate to say it, but women get the short end of the stick when it comes to fucking things of this nature, man. When women are valued above all for their beauty. Rightly so. Like, rightly so. To be fair, women are fucking beautiful. And they're by far the better of the sexes. You know what I mean? Love women. But, sorry ladies, it's a big butt. Like big butts in a can. It's a big butt. Anywho, you get my point. We overvalue youth. We need balance, right? I'm not saying youth is a bad thing. I love youth. I love feeling young. I love having a young mind, a young spirit. You know what I mean? It's funny. People actually like, oh, she has such a young spirit. He has such a young spirit. But then it's on the flip side, they go, oh, he's an old soul. Oh, what an old soul. So it's like in the flesh, we value youth. In the spirit, we value the old. When there's an imbalance in our values, that imbalance shows in culture. It shows in the actions of people. It manifests, right? That which is inside must manifest somehow, somewhere in time or space, must manifest on the outside, and we see that constantly. Oh my goodness, the beauty and health industry is $100 billion industry, which I partake in. I sell products that tighten the skin. I make frankincense extracts because they have these really crazy boswellic acids that do tighten the skin. They do make you feel better, aka younger, right? Because that's what we mean by young, is this general good feeling. That's why I said at the beginning of this, try not to. This isn't a good or bad thing. This is just a useful piece of information to know so that you can make more conscious decisions on where you want to be and how exactly you want to get there. Moral compass intact at the end of it all. But again, this all comes down to control, comes down to focus and attention. It comes down to recognizing patterns in the world. If we're raised overvaluing pure potential, then we never become anything. That's the beautiful thing about kids. It's like they're just pure potential and they can be anything, but there's nothing more disgusting than a 30-year-old kid, you know what I mean? That's still prone to huge swings in emotion, right? That's the feminine. The feminine is raw emotion, but until that emotion is contained by the masculine, it's more destructive than creative, because that's what That's what pure potential is. Pure potential destroys everything, because in order for something to be anything, it must be nothing. If it's something, it can't be something else. In other words, this microphone can't be anything other than a microphone until I break the microphone down into its individual components to be reformed into something else. Right? Again, nothing is good. Well, there is good and bad, but this conversation isn't to demonize anything, because to demonize something is to give it a little more importance than it should get. You know what I mean? Like that. We only really fear something because we feel it will have a huge impact on our life, which means we place great value, great importance on it. Because if it wasn't important, if it didn't have power behind it, then we wouldn't be afraid of it, because it wouldn't affect us anyways. You know what I mean? So try not to fall into the fuck those guys, it's always they value beauty. If I come across that way, I definitely don't mean it. I'll take it back. Less bitterness. I'm working on my bitterness. I had a conversation with a friend, and she was like, you come off bitter sometimes, man. I don't know what it is. And I was like, it's because I am bitter. Like, what the... You kidding me? Have you not been paying attention to what's going on? You'd be crazy if you weren't bitter. But she was right, 100%. So let's get away from the bitterness of it and more towards the constructive side of it. So by worshiping pure potential, humanity doesn't become anything, because it stays in the etheric. What the Elder Millennial, back to why this is important for Elder Millennials, because traditionally, or maybe not even traditionally, but some cultures operate from the elders teach the youth, because the elders have been through a lot. And so if we want human civilization to progress faster, then we learn from the mistakes, and we learn in 2 minutes what took your elder 20 years to learn. I mean, maybe just think about how last time in your life, maybe it hasn't happened since you were a kid, but where someone dropped a line on you and totally fucked up your whole shit, and you still think about that line today and probably until the day you die. That's what I'm talking about. That's what elders do for us. An elder will look at you and she'll say, look, man, it doesn't matter if you make the wrong or right decision. What fucking matters most is that you learn how to make a decision with conviction. And then we will deal with, what's good and bad for each situation. But first, what I need from you, Keith, this is actually my baseball coach said to me, the example I'm using. He said, Keith, I tell the story all the time. I feel like that dude. I'm going to tell it again, you guys. Because I played catcher. I was a baseball player. I was a catcher, which means I had to, everyone's role on the field. First base did this, second base did that. We got a fast runner on first base, so if there's a ball in the gap, I'm going to have to be calling potentially 4 if my fielders have their back to the plate. Like, we can't score this runner. We're only up by 1. You know what I mean? Or we're up by 6. We can sacrifice a run. Let's get the out and throw behind the runner just so we, sacrifice the run to stop the bleeding kind of thing. This is my job as catcher. I had a fucking 1,000 things to think about at any given point, and I had to make a decision in a split second, and I would freeze every time. Because I played varsity when I was still coming out of my freshman year. And I was always panicking, and that's what my coach told me. He said, "Look, Keith, man, you gotta learn how to make a decision. Don't worry about if it's the right one or the wrong one. The most important thing is to make a decision, and then we'll figure out if it, what decision you should have actually made. But you gotta go through the mistakes first." It's funny. I was just telling a story about Celise right now as you walked over. Coach. Yeah, please. So that was an elder. That was a lesson from an elder to a child, and that's what I've thought of that phrase at least every 2-3 weeks for the past 15, 16 years of my life, you guys. I've thought of that phrase, and imagine if every soul on the planet gets, even 4 or 5 of those in a lifetime, 4 or 5 solid ones where they can take someone else's experience, feel it as if it were their own, act on it as if it were their own, and hold it as a moral compass as if it were their own, that they truly experienced but didn't have to. Like that kind of shortcut is what makes big leaps in progress. It makes them what's the word I'm looking for? Fucking manageable, realistic, like something attainable. That's the word I was looking for. More so attainable. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Cheers to you guys too. Whiskey on ice. I don't know how he does it, but while in rum. Hey, Ricky, you right there?
I'll close it.
All right. The young can teach the old. Yeah, absolutely. It goes both ways. It goes both ways, absolutely. But most important, not even most importantly, but there's two. In conclusion, we'll start wrapping it up. Everyone, slap that like button for me. I would appreciate it if you did. Thank you for even considering to do so. In conclusion, there's two things that you guys should really be paying attention with here. One, that it's possible to manipulate an entire global population, billions of people. It's entirely possible to manipulate every one of their decisions to your benefit. Mostly by programming the subconscious mind, because whatever's in the subconscious mind becomes manifest. The biggest keys for this programming are media, music, movies, books, YouTube channels, Instagrams, all of it. Everything that you take into your awareness, whether consciously or unconsciously, becomes a part of you one way or another. All the good things, all the bad things. And we will begin to make decisions that we think are our own, when in reality we're making choices because someone else is pulling the strings. Someone else is the puppet master. Someone else is the Geppetto. Pinocchio. Speaking of which, Pinocchio is the same fucking story. The kids want laughter and they want fun time and they want to escape to Paradise Island, right? The land of eternal goodness. Youth, goodness, kid, sort of synonymous. The kids got shipped off to Paradise Island, right? And what happens to them? The ultimate joke in black and white. Actually in Technicolor. The kids turn into asses. That's what happens when you go to fucking Paradise Island and try to be little forever and party forever and have fun forever and never make any decisions forever. You turn into a fucking jackass. That is black and white, exactly what that movie was trying to tell you. At least that segment of Pinocchio. That's not a conspiracy. That's not anything. It's just a plain and white fucking symbolic, or what's the one Carl Jung always uses? Archetype. The adult that wants to act like a child all the time, but instead just makes himself look like a jackass. Great. So that's the first part I wanted you to take away. The second thing I wanted you to take away from this talk is I guess I covered it all in the first one. Is there anything else I could touch on though? No, that's it. Let's see the comments. You guys have anything to say? Cheers, Salavi. Cheers. Where are we? Someone said, Drogon said, I remember as a child, this older man told me, I don't see you as a child. I respect you because I have things to learn from you as well. And this was an older man. I get it, you guys. Kids can also teach old people things, but I find it interesting that elders don't give themselves proper cred, because I hear 1,000 times that, oh, we have a lot to learn from kids. We have a lot to learn from kids. We have a lot to learn from kids. We do. But if I may be so facetious and play some devil's advocate, how do we know that that's not part of the programming? Because how many times have you heard kids have a lot to teach us, and then it be balanced with, like, it's almost just another backhand to adults. Oh, adults don't know shit. Adults are they're all this and they're all that. It's devil's advocate speaking. That's just another example of of another example of favoring youth and shunning old people. You know what I mean? It's never represented in a balance, is what I'm saying. Like, you never see it side by side where it shows kids helping adults, adults helping kids, and it being sort of balanced. I'm not feeling the love on the balance, mostly, is what I'm saying. But kids, for sure, kids teach adults things all the time. Like, the feminine teaches the masculine all the time. The masculine teaches the feminine all the time. Like, both, they're polar opposites. We talk about this shit all the time. Youth and old you're measuring the same thing. Old and young you're measuring the same thing. All you're doing is changing your perception on the line, whether you're focusing on this side of the spectrum at young or this side at old, and opposites are identical in nature, yada yada yada, but differ in degree. You guys know how that goes. I don't know. I guess what makes me bitter, but more so I'm trying to just understand without being bitter, but just like really like sort of take apart. Is how we can get back to this healthy relationship with teaching, like teaching real shit, and learning some real shit, teaching things that are important, learning things that are important. I don't know. It just seems to me that ignorance is the bane of existence. Ignorance is bliss, but when ignorance is on a global scale, like, that's why wars happen. That's why murders happen. That's why the darkest things in the planet happen, because people just don't know how to communicate with each other. They don't understand each other. They're thinking about the wrong shit all the time. Their focus is just like, the focus is shot, man. It's just bait and switch. Everything. It's everywhere you turn seems to be a bait and switch, and it's like, that part is what makes me bitter. But on the flip side, it's like, what if and when I get over that bitterness, I can just see the mechanics of it. How does it work? Why does it work? It works because it must work. You know what I mean? Like, that's the cool thing about law. Is law is. There's no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just use one law against other. But trying to imagine what that looks like, to completely withdraw from watching like, how are you entertained by a movie if you're analyzing it that much? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What does that look like? What does it look like to watch a Disney movie knowing the programming that's going on, and then at the same time enjoy media? Like, it's tough. That's why I want to say, oh, this is how you do it, you guys. This is how you withdraw all the bitterness. This is how you, like, listen to your old man Keith. This is how it's done. I don't know necessarily how it's done. At least I would imagine that it's different for every single person and the circumstance, which is why and that's sort of where you use your intuition. That's where the balance comes in. It's like, All right, I know the logic behind something, but when it comes down, to individual circumstances where you have a million different you have a million different parts to any given circumstance. So yeah, you have your logic, but logically speaking, you're not going to be able to break down a million different moving parts in any given situation to come to the best choice. That's fucking ridiculous. That's when you go with the intuition. That's when you use your subconscious, when you use that feminine to gather an infinite amount of data all at one time so that you can compress it into an answer. Like, that's the intuition. That's the beauty of the intuition. That's where it shines and it reigns supreme. And when you can make that decision and not worry about being wrong or right, you made it because you felt it, and so be it. If it was wrong, then it was wrong. If it was right, then it was right. Like, I'm starting to think that's the key to intuition, is first not believing that your intuition is wrong or right. That's easy to say. Just let go of judgment. In other words, like, of course that's easy to say. I've heard it 1,000 times. You've heard it 1,000 times. The ironic thing is you're gonna be wrong. Like, your intuition's gonna be wrong sometimes. Like, there's no way around it. You're not gonna be right forever. And so the moment you are wrong, and you know you're wrong, and you really leaned on the intuition, and you know 100% that you were wrong as fuck, then you're like, never again. I'm never trying that again. And I do believe that if the willpower, the masculine version of intuition, if your willpower is scientifically proven to be a workable muscle. They've done tons of tests on how you can actually build a person's willpower, meaning you could get a person to make more decisions per day. Like, say you were only able to handle 3 things before your willpower gave in and you became distracted. You did something else. You could grow that. So I'm a firm believer that you can grow your intuition as well. And the more you use it, the better you get. And importantly, the more you believe in it when you fail, the better you will get. 'Cause it's easy to go about life when we're slaying, right? We don't think about learning new skills when we're doing really well. It's not until we fail miserably. And as long as we have the will to continue, we have to go, all right, I fucked up bad, but I still have the will to continue, so I must learn how I fucked up so bad. And that's what we got to do with the intuition. But yeah, the Eshkerman is a reminder to keep it sweet, though. That is the antidote to bitterness, is sweetness. And it's nice to have things dialed in. It's nice to trust in yourself. It's nice to trust in yourself knowing that you're gonna fuck up. Like, if you could sort of step outside yourself, imagine your child when he wants to impress you and he wants to do good, and he's gonna fuck you. Say he's batting right now, he's up to bat. Your kid, he knows you're in the stand and he wants to impress you. Like, there's nothing better than wanting to impress someone but knowing that if you fail miserably, they're still gonna love you anyways. Like, that is, man, that's the sweetest thing ever. It's the sweetest thing ever. So if we can do that for ourselves, like, hey Keith, we're gonna give it 110. You might fuck up. You'll probably fuck up. But I love you. If you fuck up, we're going to head back to the drawing boards. We're going to have a beer, and we're going to merry-make. You're going to watch your favorite movie. It's going to be all right. Just get on the horse the next day. And give me 110 with full conviction, just as much as you did before you failed miserably. That's the hard part. But also the sweet part. So thank you, Ashkerman, for the sweetness reminder. It is much appreciated. Video is running 30 frames per second. I don't know why that's relevant, but the frames per second can be changed. I think I must do it manually on my computer. If not, OBS has done it for me. But yeah. Brandy Sherpa, Drogon Fire from the... I just saw that word, thaumaturgy, in my book about ancient Celtic gods. Thaumaturgy, so I'm assuming that has something to do with ironwork. If you guys had anything else, really, thank you for the Antoine, what up? Shargin, what up? Thank you for the links. Thank you for the links. Whiskey. Anything to add? Anything to pitch in with you guys? Thank you so much for being here and chillins with us. We're having a good evening. Thank you for being here. We ended it sweet. I hope it. I would like to end these videos sweet and inspirational, so it doesn't come out insincere. But yeah, feel free to chime in or add anything, or if you have any questions. It's 6:45. I'm thinking about ending this and reading the next chapter of a book that we left off, our last live reading. We're on chapter 7, and it's a short chapter, so I don't mind hanging up and then starting a live immediately and running everything. Oh, nice. Thank you, Agent Smith, for that. Thaumaturgy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is the purported capability of a magician to work magic or other paranormal events, or a saint to perform miracles. Wonder-working in English. Nice. Dope. It's some kind of Jameson whiskey. My brother got it, and he never buys cheap shit, so... Wait, let's talk about the psychology of life. Holy shit. Specific question? Brandy Sherpa, it's alright, brother. Or sister. Sister, it's alright. Can always run it back. I do appreciate you guys checking it out. Anyways, we'd love to keep chatting with you. I'm not working tomorrow, which means I gotta catch up on a lot of things. Like, like Etsy orders. Whoopsies. I'm also packing some oregano, so if you guys want to join up with me, please feel free to do so. We're just drinking, smoking, straight West Coastin' on the live tonight. And would love for you guys to be a part of it. Or some tea. Or just, you know what I mean? Or just get yourself a little tea bag. Reading by candlelight. Yeah, we're going to do a reading by candlelight. If you want, we can stay on here and... We can stay here and schmooze-a-doodle a little bit if you want. Or we can do some reading by candlelight. That book is a fucking really good one. And I feel a bit of guilt at taking this long in between videos. So I'm happy that you guys are still here, waiting for it. Why do so many people want to die? Damn, I'll try to answer this question quick, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Maybe I don't want to talk about it. I'm not sure. Let me think about it for a sec. Schmooze-a-doodle. Yes, schmooze-a-doodle. Psychology of life. Tuesday's vid. Maybe we'll sit on it till Tuesday. That might be a good Tuesday topic. You think? I'll give you guys guess a part one or a prelude to that. But when you're prelude to Tuesday's video to fully answer your question, if this one response doesn't do it, I think the reason why people think of death so much is because they're programmed to. Honestly, if you ask me any question on why the masses do anything, why do people eat chicken? Why do we grow beans? Why is corn the preferred crop for biofuel? Or why do we think the ocean is blue when every time I look at it, it looks more green to me than blue? It's like 99 times out of 100, it's mostly because people have been told to think something. And that's why I make this channel. That's why I have every discussion I think I've ever had. It's because I'm working through how one becomes a truly sovereign individual. And you can be sovereign in body to a degree. Like, you can have all these freedoms and liberties, and you can have the freedom to go for a walk whenever you want, to breathe whenever you want to breathe. And that's cool. But if you don't have the freedom of thought, then you're fucked. Like, you're fucked. That's the whole point of my channel, is freedom of thought leads to freedom of choice. Actually, I don't know if that was a point of my channel, but it came through nice as fuck, so we're going to run with it. The point of my channel is sort of freedom of thought and therefore freedom of choice. And it's difficult. You know what I mean? Thought and choice are like, man, everything, todo. Están todo is what they are. And yeah, to some degree, that's why. And then you can get into the nuts and bolts. We can do that Tuesday, like, oh, what does it mean to have this thought? What does it mean to have that thought? Is it code? Is it subliminal programming? Like, what are the dynamics of each, what's happening within every circumstance that we can sort of see and pick apart and go, oh, this is happening because of that because of that. We can see the patterns of the entire world because of that one thing. And that's. So we'll get into that further on Tuesday. I like that. I'll let it ponder. Fire from the thaumaturgy. Hey, Smith, I'm surprised you didn't hit him with the book link. I wrote a book on the Kabbalion, brother. Check it out. It's called 7 Pillars, a Handbook for Existence. So that's the title of my book, and I basically took the exact same thing. All I did was basically copy and paste the 7 Hermetic principles from the Kabbalion, put it in the book, and then I used modern day science, or at least I've used science since the publication of the Kabbalion, which was in 1911. So I used that from that day all the way till present day, geology and quantum physics and different social sciences and psychology studies, like the whole night. I just updated the principles, and it's really good. You should check it out. You guys should all check it out. It's my book. Oh, no worries, Smith. Do your thing. I get it, dude. Children first, man. Always. Siempre. Los niños primero. Siempre. Siempre. Renee Lottie, well said. Fuck, see, now I want to talk about that. No, I really want to read the book more, though. So, you guys, it's something to look forward to. Tuesday, 6 p.m. As you guys know, Tuesdays and Sundays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're doing lives. The rhythm helps because rhythm is one of the laws of existence. One of them from the Handbook of Existence, written by some dude named Keith Garcia. You should check it out. It's a great book. Rhythm is a perfect balance of those polarities that keeps you steady in the direction that you want. That's using one law against the other. Yeah. So everyone, right now I'm going to end this live. If you're new, make sure you like and subscribe first. Thanks. Or end the live. Hit the like button first so we can break the YouTube algorithm. Thank you all. Love you guys. And I'll start it back up. All right. How's that sound? Listo? You guys ready? Gotta have the paperback. I only have a paperback. Uh-oh. I'm always nervous when I get reviews on Etsy because sometimes I'm super late on the packages and I'm just waiting for them to be like, this guy sucks. Fucking late. It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks, Keith. My bad. But hopefully this one's a good review. All right, I'll see you guys in 1 second. I'm going to end this video. We're going to do the live reading of Your Forces and How to Use Them. We're on Chapter 7. Go to Sacred Texts. Google Sacred Texts, Your Forces and How to Use Them, and open page or Chapter 7. And we will begin in about 5 minutes or so. All right, see you in a second.